we thought that Bobby Lashley and his WWE Championship going up against former champion Drew McIntyre was going to be the main event of Saturday. Right now, Drew McIntyre, heavy favorite, about minus 200. How is this a spot for Drew McIntyre to win his title back? Because to me, this says Bobby Lashley dog all over it.
So I think this is actually kind of tough to predict. In terms of match placement, I think it makes a lot of sense for Bianca and Sasha to be the main events of night one. You know, Bianca wins the Women's Royal Rumble. We know the men are going to be main eventing night two with Roman, Edge, and Bryan in the Universal title match. So I actually think it makes sense, like you said, for this to open the show, which could mean that Lashley goes over, right? And then maybe like Drew goes into a program then with Corbin afterwards, right? Away from the title picture. And then they figure out what to do with Lashley, get him a new face challenger, and then build back Drew back up to challenge him maybe at SummerSlam or maybe something else. Or maybe McIntyre wins and then Lashley wins the title back in like a week or two on Raw. And then they get into the program afterwards with Drew and Corbin. So either way, I don't know that Drew is long for the title, even if he wins it. So I don't know if there's a lot of value to be gleaned here, because I think there are a couple different scenarios that all kind of make sense. And for that reason, I think I'd probably lay off of this one. I think if I had to bet, though, I think I would probably lay it with Drew. But I think you make a really good point about Lashley potentially winning this one as well.
So we have Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Yes, Bad Bunny, the music artist, is taking on The Miz and Morrison. I think The Miz is just content just being involved in the storyline for what it's produced from a content standpoint. The line is just way too high to bet on this, right? I think Bad Bunny and Damian Priest winning is easily what's going to happen here. We're going to move on to Seth Rollins and Cesaro. So right now, Cesaro is listed at minus 300. And I think that is actually a cheap buy on him, because these two, like I said, are real life CrossFit buddies. And the rumor is that Cesaro is going to get a title shot. He's going to get a good 4-week run against Roman or Edge. So it makes sense to build him up here.
I think Cesaro wins. I think it's as easy as that. I think you nailed it. I think this has the potential to be the best match on Saturday night.
So next we're going to talk about the Raw Tag Team Championship, the New Day versus AJ Styles, and the first match for Omos, the 7 foot, correct me if I'm wrong here, the 7'3". He is so big.
He looks legitimately like Yao Ming.
So let's get some background on the story. New Day regains the titles from the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business tag team is now broke up, so there's really no one for them to fight there. Styles throws out the challenge. This will be Omos's first ring action with AJ Styles and Omos at around, minus 400. This win is what makes AJ Styles a Grand Slam champion. Within 5 years of being in WWE, he will already become a Grand Slam champion with this win. In my opinion, the New Day doesn't have any challengers. And so on the Raw side, I don't think there's any reason to retain the belts because there's nothing for them to go to. Is there anybody, what would be the point of putting New Day over here?
It would be less, I think, putting New Day over, and more if they're going to split Styles and Omos here. And Omos just like destroys him after the match. And it's less about New Day than it is about those two separating. And then maybe Styles like carrying Omos to a good match afterwards here. Let's say Styles takes the pin, right? And then Omos is kind of like standing there like, well, like you lost the match. Styles is laying there. Styles gets up and is like patting Omos, like, let's go back to the locker room. And Omos just stands there. And then Styles like pushes him like, come on back with me. And then Omos just beats the crap out of him and the fans go nuts. Or Omos is the heel and just destroys Styles. I don't think this one's cut and dry here. So I don't know if you agree with that analysis here, but I don't think this is a slam dunk.
The problem is you and I are too forward thinking and we're doing WWE's creative work for them. I think that is the storyline, but I don't think it's going to happen in one night. I think AJ Styles gets his Grand Slam champion by becoming tag team. Then there's a progression of a problem with Omos, which eventually ends up into what? A SummerSlam one-on-one match between the two. I think Omos, before he turns heel and says, I'm done with this shit, AJ Styles, like he's got to get some in-ring time first before he has a one-on-one match.